The lifestyle inflator. You got the raise, finally. 3 years of showing up early, staying late, eating sad desk lunches while your boss took clients to steakhouses. And now it's here. An extra $800 a month sitting in your account like a reward for surviving. So you move into a nicer apartment, upgrade the car, start eating at places with menus that don't have pictures. You deserve it. You earned it. And honestly, it feels incredible. Until it doesn't. Because 6 months later, you're somehow still broke. Same empty account, same quiet panic before payday, just with a better view and softer towels. The raise didn't make you richer, it just raised the floor on your spending. You didn't build wealth, you built a more expensive version of being stuck. The gambler. It started as fun. $50 here, a little sports bet there, a few hands of blackjack on a Tuesday because why not? You're not addicted, you're just playing. You know when to stop. Except you don't. Because the thing about gambling is that it's specifically engineered so you never feel like you're losing. You're always one bet away from getting it all back, one spin from turning it around. The house doesn't beat you all at once. It bleeds you slowly, quietly, across hundreds of small decisions that each felt completely reasonable in the moment. By the time you realize what happened, the number in your account isn't a number anymore. It's a warning. The crypto believer. You found the coin at the right time, or you thought you did. The Discord server was buzzing. The chart was going vertical. Someone with 40,000 followers said this was the one, and you believed him because his profile picture was a Lamborghini. You put in $3,000. It doubled. You put in $6,000 more. It doubled again. You are, objectively, a genius. You start checking the portfolio every 20 minutes. You do the math on what your life looks like at $10 million. You start being rude to people with normal jobs. Then it drops 60% overnight because a billionaire tweeted a meme. And now you're not a genius anymore. You're just someone who confused a casino with an investment strategy and has $800 left and a lot of opinions about blockchain technology. The over-leveraged property guy. He's at every barbecue, slightly too confident, always talking about passive income and equity and how the banks are practically paying him to own property. He's got 3 houses, 2 mortgages he can barely cover, and the spreadsheet he's very proud of. What he doesn't talk about is the vacancy month, the tenant who stopped paying and took 4 months to evict, the roof that needed replacing the same week the hot water system died, the interest rate rise that turned his cash flow positive portfolio into a quiet financial emergency he's managing with credit cards. Real estate isn't a bad investment. Borrowing more than you can survive is. The line between portfolio and catastrophe is thinner than the spreadsheet suggests. The bad business partner. You had the idea. He had the connections. Together, you were unstoppable. You shook hands, skipped the paperwork because you trusted each other, and threw everything into the business. Your savings, your evenings, your weekends, your entire identity. 18 months later, he's withdrawing from the business account without telling you. The money's gone, the friendship's gone, and the business is legally structured in a way that somehow makes this your problem too. The idea wasn't the issue, the handshake was. The divorce. Nobody walks into a marriage planning the exit, but statistically, nearly half of them have one. And when it happens, the financial damage isn't just painful, it's surgical. Assets split, legal fees pile up, the house you spent a decade paying off gets liquidated, retirement savings divided. And if kids are involved, the monthly obligations don't end when the paperwork does. This isn't a dig at divorce. Sometimes it's the right call. But nobody talks about the financial reset it triggers. You don't just lose a relationship, you lose a decade of compounding. And starting over at 40 with half of what you built hits different than starting over at 22 with nothing. The medical bill. You were healthy, you were careful, you had a plan. Then something happened. It always does. A diagnosis, an accident, a surgery that wasn't optional. And suddenly, the system that was supposed to protect you hands you a bill with a comma in it. Sometimes 2 commas. In countries without universal healthcare, medical debt is the leading cause of bankruptcy. Not bad investments, not gambling, not overspending on luxury, Just getting sick at the wrong time without enough coverage. The cruelest way to lose everything is the one you had no warning for and no way to prevent. The scam. It looked legitimate. The website was professional, the returns were guaranteed, the person explaining it was charming and confident, and wore a watch that suggested he didn't need your money. You invested. Other people invested. For a while, the returns came in and everything felt real. Then one day the website goes down. The phone goes to voicemail. The charming man is on a beach somewhere without an extradition treaty. You got. And the worst part isn't the money. It's that you have to tell people what happened, that you believed it, that you handed it over willingly. Scams don't work because people are stupid. They work because they're designed by professionals who are very, very good at making you feel like the smart one in the room. The person who just never started. No dramatic story here. No crash, no scandal, no single catastrophic decision. Just a long, quiet series of not yet. I'll start investing next year. I'll build the emergency fund when I earn more. I'll sort out the super when I'm older. I'll deal with the credit card when things settle down. And things never settle down, because they never do. The chaos of your 20s becomes the obligations of your 30s, becomes the pressure of your 40s. And somewhere in the middle of all that waiting for the right time passed. Compound interest doesn't punish bad decisions, it punishes delay. The most expensive thing you can do with money is nothing. Not because nothing is dramatic, but because nothing is invisible. You never feel it happening. You just look up one day and realize the distance between where you are and where you could have been is now measured in decades. There are 100 ways to lose money. Bad luck, bad timing, bad people, bad decisions made by a good person on a bad day. But most of them share the same root. Either you trusted the wrong thing, waited too long to act, or spent money performing a life instead of building one. The market will crash. People will disappoint you. Life will hand you bills you didn't budget for. That's guaranteed. What's not guaranteed is whether you've built something strong enough to survive it. Start there.